Hello everyone, welcome to VRL for the final round of the season. Only 15 cars here today, but I'm sure it will be just as exciting as always, with some big hitters not in it. But yeah, here in Abu Dhabi, under the lights, it should be a lot of entertainment. Yes, you may be thinking, who's this person doing the intro? It's me, Jackson. And Alex is here today, so hello to Alex.
Good morning, good evening, good morning. I've messed up my own intro.
Yeah,
welcome.
It's good I didn't do it then.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone aboard. Final time, VRL Season 5. We've got both championships wrapped up, and I think today the gloves are really going to come off. It's going to be a straight up dogfight for the win here in Abu Dhabi. Always throws up an interesting race, plenty of spots to overtake. I think we're going to see a really fun race go down today, Jackson.
Yeah, because drivers in previous races would have been going, shall I go for the move now, play it safe for the championship? That entire part of the mentality is gone. You're thinking, shall I go for the move? Nothing to lose, why not? It's as simple as that. Especially with some big hitters like Domi and Gil not racing, we could see a surprise winner. So perhaps a driver that's yet to win in VRL could be in maybe third place and cool, there's the victory, I'll send it and take out the top 3 cars. It's entirely possible. These drivers are obviously much better than that, but I mean, we saw in Mexico the top 2 drivers in the championship, who are both incredibly talented drivers, crash into each other. So no matter how good the driver is, the ability to crash into another car never truly leaves you. Yeah, so hopefully we don't have any crashing today, but if we do, it definitely could spice up the race. As Wakanda Raring currently P1.
I believe we've got 1 or 2 more drivers joining before the end of qualifying. Obviously, with it being having to bring the race times forward, it doesn't. It clashes with a few more people at this time, so lucky enough to get 15 drivers in at the moment. I think we've got 1 or 2 more drivers joining, as I said. I'm just joining the session now. And,
I've also realised I screwed up the title, which is my bad. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I literally I put in the wrong. Yeah, that's my bad. I'll see if I can. I change it midstream or not? I don't know.
I don't. We'll sort it out after. But your eyes are not deceiving you. This is
this
the
is Mexico.
Gas Marina circuit. No, I don't think it's Mexico. We don't have the Peraltada. We don't have the Retrofilia quite here.
Just rename the corners. Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone.
As I was going to say,
that's my bad.
Before Jackson couldn't spell Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, my spelling. Yeah, I wish I could say it was my spelling that was that bad. No, just I'm not that bright.
At least I've got the dyslexia excuse. Anyway, we do have TAS with us today, thankfully provided to us by IGK Esports. Make sure you go give them a follow over on Instagram and on Twitter. Growing esports league, drivers competing in VRL this season, along with PSGL, F1, AOL, F1 and many other tournaments around the world, and doing a fair good job for themselves, I do have to say. But here we are in Abu Dhabi, Memes Virus currently on pole, and this is one thing I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, Jackson. The drivers who have the experience from the day before in F2 always seem to do really well in F1 when they step up as a reserve, because they just have that real life experience, that real life practice to know what to do when they put in a given situation, which the F1 drivers lack in some circumstances.
Yeah, that is very true. They may have learnt something from their F2 race. They may see sort of a corner where they can push the track limits a bit more. They can just, because time trial is what a lot of these drivers will use for really helping them practice. Of course, they will probably do some races as well to help them out. But just that sort of actual league race scenario, it just teaches you so much that you just can't recreate in any other way.
Setup as well. Development. You got to think some of these drivers might have tweaked a few things on their setup if they weren't entirely happy with it yesterday, and a lot of the F1 drivers really have the chance to not be happy with the setup because they kind of just get thrown into it.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and sort of if those F2 guys had some sort of issue on their setups, they can fix it, and they can have that bit. They can, whilst the F1 guys are sort of going with the best setup they could manage, the F2 guys have had that sort of, they've seen what the setup's like on maybe worn tyres. So they can say, oh, when the tyres got really bad, I had terrible understeer. So maybe they put a bit more into suspension, just getting that little bit more tweaking to get it absolutely perfect, which is of course crucial. That is very good.
Confirmed to be here in Abu Dhabi. Welcome, Phil Smith, on the chat. Last season's F1 race winner. That feels like an age ago now when Phil sent one down the inside of Luke at the final corner. Luke racing in the Mercedes this season. Had a pretty poor season for his standards. Yeah, welcome Phil, welcome Sem as well. Ex-VRL F1 commentator. I don't know why my voice is going so high. But the driver's pushing on. Memes Virus 32.9. That seems very, very similar to the pole lap he did yesterday. Wakanda wearing just behind, and Jamil, yesterday's VRL F2 race winner, up in P3.
A few drivers currently set their best laps on the medium tyres. I doubt they'll stay with that for the actual end of the session, but it's a good chance for us to look at them, see what their lap was before they switched to soft. But I must say at the moment, it's very much looking like the top four at the moment, incredibly close, as Jamil goes P1 just by 3 milliseconds, takes the P1 and provisional pole position away from Memes Virus. But yeah, now we've got about...
pole yesterday.
We've got 4 cars in the flight at the moment that are very close. Then we have a few cars that are just a bit off the pace, and then you get down to Luke. Well, then we get down to let's have a look. Who's the first car to really off it?
Marine is returning today. Won a couple of races in season 3, notably at Spa. Picked up a couple of podiums. Was Phil's rear gunner this time last season, as he dropped a lap down to give Phil the DRS to drag him over the line, quite literally. Marine.
Teamwork, I suppose.
Yeah, started this season partnered with Phil at Red Bull. Hasn't ended the season with him. Stepped down a couple of races into the season. He's back though. Hopefully for his sake he can score some points and have a pleasant return, because if I'm honest, the Mercedes team really need it given the poor season they've had.
It's very true. But you know, this finale, it's going to be every driver on the grid that has had maybe a poor season, struggling to get up to speed this on, of course, a new game. Any driver that has had a bit of trouble, this is their big chance to sort of set themselves up for next season and sort of say, I'm the person to watch for season 6, because it's this with the couple of big hitters out the way. Although maybe the win doesn't mean as much because those big hitters weren't there, but it's still it's just a bit of a warning perhaps to the other drivers that have been doing well this season, that next season it's going to be closer and more competitive, and keep watching their backs, because there's always going to be a new driver to come into the mix.
Of course. Well, an Anderson statement can go one of two ways. It can go really well, you win the race, you dominate, and you really carry that momentum forward into the next season. Or it can go quite the opposite. Take Phil Smith as an example. The last 3 races in season 4 were incredible for him. He scored 3, or he got a pole in USA. He dropped off in the race after contact with one of the McLarens, I remember it was. In Brazil, he got a podium, and then he got pole on the win in Abu Dhabi here last season. At this point we were like, okay, Phil's back, here we go. Can he challenge for the title in season 5? Season 5 rolls around, and he was struggling to qualify inside the top 10, which was concerning. And I think, as I've mentioned before in previous broadcasts, the step up between seasons, and that step up will happen again as we do go to no assists for next season, which will be a big shake-up in the league. But it's all well and good winning at the end of the season, but you've got to carry that momentum forward and not really just sit on it like someone like Phil did between season 4 and season 5, as Memes Virus in the Ferrari goes up into the lead.
Very strong lap there.
Provisional pole, couple of tenths clear of Jamil on an extra lap old tyres there, so 2 lap olds, so I believe he's done a lap, invalidated it and gone again. But tyre wear is quite a factor at this track. Very easy to overheat, very easy to wear out the tyres, a lot of slow speed corners, a lot of stress on the rear tyres through the final sector, and don't be surprised if we see people starting on the softs and pitting after 2, 3, 4, 5 laps to go into the medium tyres.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the strategy play out here. Something I've noticed at the moment is F2 drivers doing very well at the moment, as you would have predicted.
Yeah.
Renault, another team, 4th and 5th at the moment, having a good day so far. And 2 drivers that perhaps could get into the mix. It's going to be an insanely close qualifying and race. And although Abu Dhabi isn't a track loved by many F1 fans, it's in league racing in theory it should produce quite a good race. I just hope we don't end up with a big DRS train, which is entirely possible. But I'm hoping, wow, that was a late dive out of the way by that Williams car. Just drove themselves straight into the wall. Who was that? That was Henk Peter, who and spun in the pits. I'm glad I caught that on stream.
A little pirouette. Well, not even a pirouette, saved by the wall. Yeah, the 2 Williams struggling, but conversely, the 2 Renaults doing quite well. The Renault F2 team just missed out on the Constructors' Championship yesterday in F2. They're not fighting for any Constructors' glory here. Nevertheless, they may be able to thrust themselves up a few more places if I just if I can get up the standings very quickly. But yeah, everyone with something to fight for.
Yeah, it's gonna be just honestly, I can't predict it. I mean, I've got obviously much less chance of predicting it, seeing as I've been commentating much less time. But still, you'd think after like a few races, I'd have a general idea of who to expect to be at the front. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. The only way I'm going to guess who's going to win the race is by my best chance of guessing who's going to win this race is by guessing the pole sitter, because I don't know who could come through the field. It's just there's so many drivers that are just like quick here.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, Matthias Gamer is showing, and Sam D as well, to be fair. I have just checked Renault, actually, bottom of the constructor standings. Wow. 26 points. They're 20 points behind Mercedes, who are the next car up, so they need a fair point. They could double their points.
Well, currently they're 4th and 5th. That's 22 points, you know. Just maybe get another car on the podium. They could realistically double their points here. And a key thing with today's race is because of how close it is, teamwork is going to be more crucial than ever. You're going to need to have your teammate there to maybe, let's say, if you've got a car on its own that you need to get past, maybe they're going for a different strategy, going long in the first stint, and both you and your teammate need to get through, you could sort of try and work together. One of you sort of pull the other one along to get past, because that's going to be so crucial here. Especially with a long line, as Monster has crashed down at turn 1. And looks like they've just gone absolutely straight on there. And every car that I go to, I'm missing the image of the crash with, so apologies for this. I'm just not getting there quick enough. And that is Monster, yeah, just looks like it's gone straight onto turn 1. Yeah, so I'll have to wait and see now. The final runs begin. I think we have a timing glitch. Oh, I'm not sure.
I've just looked at the clock and I'm like, that's gone down really quickly.
Oh,
I was trying to comprehend where
it isn't a timing glitch. Wait, I'm not sure.
So, Matthias. Well, theoretically, sure. Matthias. I think it is. Yeah, Matthias.
Check flag is, yeah, so I think it is a glitch right now, because for me, I'm on board with Henk here and it looks like he is on a lap. It's invalidated, but he's on a lap.
Yeah, well, Luke is certainly in the AI driving. He is not going to better his effort of P11. We're going to go on the assumption. Jamil goes up to provisional pole. So yesterday's F2 pole sitter, looking to make it 2 out of 2. I believe that will be a VRL record. No one's ever done that before. A pole in F2 and on provisional pole for F1. But Memes Virus in sector 2, ever so slightly up on his time through the first sector. It's 2 purple sectors for Jamil. Matthias Gamer's gone up into 2nd place, has he? No, he hasn't. That is, yeah, Tass has got a bit of a problem with name recognition there, but Memes Virus on a good lap so far.
Oh, spins out of the qualifying session. No. That was a huge crash. Out of qualifying, there is Memes Virus. I mean, it was like they had a rocket strapped to the back of that car, then the speed it went off the road. It was like that thing just went full for, like... I mean, maybe they dropped something on their pedal, or... because the speed that thing accelerated into the barrier.
Let's see who else is on a lap. Matthias Gamer's backed off. GFO Spanias has also invalidated his lap. P5, not a bad effort. Nick Pancras going to come into the pits in P9. It's an Alpha Tauri 3-4.
Yeah, that is great for the team. And the F2 driver out qualifying their championship contending for a lot of the season F1 teammate. Yeah, so Pollution Ball there behind Wakanda Raring, but very close field. Let's have a look at the interval here with the leader. The top 8 within a second, within 8 tenths, which is just crazy close. And
certainly get the feeling drivers. Yeah, I certainly get the feeling some drivers further down could improve on their times. But Jamil scores his first pole position in VRL F1. Overtakes his previous best of 3rd place at Silverstone, and congratulations to him. That's 50% done. As Daniel Ricciardo once famously said.
Yes. I have a question for you. With you having much more experience than I do. Does Kimi have any points in VRL F1? Because they've got very close in Brazil, and I'm wondering if this is a big thing that they've qualified P12 2 points off the points. It's a big thing either way, because they've getting close to the points is very good, but if they haven't scored points this season, that could be big for Kimi, being an F2 driver. Yeah, Jamil on the pole position. Memes 2, Wakanda Raring in P3. I believe that is an F2 1-2-3, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It is.
Wow, that is
the F2 good. Guys flying the flag high.
Yeah. F2 clearly better than F1. I mean...
Well, that's a problem we've got.
Yeah. You with an extra few teams on the F1 grid, really, just 30-car race.
But as I said, the advantage that some of the drivers can get from just running the day before and having that, being in a familiar situation with other people in the lobby, with, that experience, can really take you quite a long way. And obviously Jamil did his qualifying session yesterday. There's never a perfect lap in F1. There's always somewhere you can find half a tenth, 2 tenths, realistically 3 or 4 tenths if you properly nail the lap. And Jamil would have been able to go away, study that, and come back stronger today. And I think he has improved on his pole time actually. So congratulations to him.
And I'm hearing now that Jamil got pole in season 3, and Kimi scored points twice in season 3.
Jamil got pole in season 3, did he? Well, fair enough.
That's what I'm reading. Okay, so if Kimi does have points, it's still massive that he's could score points again today.
But I don't think he's got points this season, but he has
definitely
before.
Not. If the last ones were in season 3, then
that's when F2 wasn't established. So
then that sort of makes sense. So as an F2 driver, this would be his first points in F1.
He will. This season. Let's just clarify that this season. I'm not 100% sure. The VRL trivia is not necessarily natural to me.
I'm reading the chat, and you'd think there'd be someone in there that knows what you're talking about. And I'm still getting confused by it.
Andre is usually Statman. But, anyway, so, top 10. All on the soft tyre, including Marine returning. Marine returning out qualifying his teammate. So Marine, he said he hadn't touched his wheel in 2 months. He's come back on and not done a bad job. But everyone outside the top 10 starting on the medium tyre, other than Monster.
Very interesting there. I can see where Monster's theory is there. With medium tyre runners in front of them, perhaps you're trying to use the softs just to get up into that P11 position, get ahead of the medium runners. Because if the actual sort of across the race, the strategy time isn't that different. Obviously, you can understand going different if you're outside the top 10. But if you're going, you go on the softs outside the top 10, and everyone else around you's on a step harder. It gives you a chance to. It makes those overtakes a little bit easier. Yes, the driver's coming around the final couple of corners now. And there we see our predicted stop strategy. Very interesting. I didn't read it in time because it disappeared that quickly, but it looked interesting.
I imagine a two-stop is the way almost all the drivers will go. Soft, medium, medium is the preferred strategy. But we might see someone go 2 sets of softs, but the soft tyre wedge just so high here. These drivers really will try and get off the soft tyres as soon as possible, but we've got Matthias joining on to the back of the grid now, and I think we'll be ready to go racing. 14 rounds this season, or 13 rounds competed so far. For the 14th time, there's 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. For last time in VRL Season 5, it's lights out and away we go. It's a storming start from Memes Virus. He's down the inside of Jamil into turn number 1. The Red Bull is going to try and hold it around the outside. They're going to be side by side up the hill. Further back, Wakanda Raring stays ahead of his teammate. Memes Virus has got the start sorted. He jumps Jamil into turn number 2. Jamil's going to slot back in behind. There's a bit of moving about further back in the pack. That's Hank Peter trying to make up places. Xavi Mateos has gained a place off the start. Back to the front though, Virus leads ahead of Jamil, who looks a little bit under pressure, as that's Matthias Gamer getting very sideways. He could be under pressure from Luke and Nick now, who's also been trailed by Spanias, who's had a terrible start, dropping 3 places off the line. Matthias as well seems to have been caught up in something a little bit further back.
As that is Jamil around the outside of Memes Virus here, into the first chicane. Oh, contact! That's going to allow Wakanda Raring into the lead of the race. That is big turn of events there, as that's Memes Virus now dropping to P2. Pollution Ball is on the back now of Memes Virus. We said teammates could work together here, and Wakanda Raring gives Pollution Ball the slipstream, making it an Alpha Tauri 1-2. This is crazy stuff here as Jamil drops down to P6. Their teammate could get them here, and is trying to. This is, wow.
Does Jamil have damage? I'm going to check the task system, nothing coming up for Jamil. I think he's escaped that one, I'm not really sure how.
Luke and Nick here wheel to wheel with Nick Pancras as they're coming through the very tricky sections. The Mercedes back cars are battling wheel to wheel here. Who is going to come out on top of this battle? And it is going to be Ryan Ball who gets out on top. And
a little bit of contact there.
Oh, Luke
with
a big... Whoa!
That's brave.
I didn't see that one coming. I have to admit. Oh, that came out of nowhere. It's already 1 penalty for Luke and Nick, and now the timing tower has decided it didn't want Wakanda Raring in the lead and given Jamil the lead on my screen. So please ignore that, everyone. Unless Jamil has got
that
the lead.
usually takes a lap to sort itself out, but
yeah.
Everyone getting through lap 1 with no damage. Everyone keeping it relatively clean. Matthias does retire in the pits, but Jamil crucially doesn't have any damage, so we know he's got the pace to get his head down and get a move on. But as you said, it's almost 2 by 2 with the exclusion of Memes Virus, Wakanda Raring, and leading the Alpha Tauri pair, Memes Virus being the pepperoni in the sandwich. Yes. Of a bit of Italian bread and a bit of French bread of the Renault team. Sam D leading his teammate Matthias Gamer, them 2 swapped round at the start, and then Jamil, he'll be hungry for more, as I think we all know he's capable of more than 6 places. That Nick Pancras looking for a move round the outside. It is of Spanias. Is he going to get that move done? I think he is. What a move from Nick Pancras. He's still fighting side by side. He's going to get that move done, and now the Hash driver might come under threat from VRT Luke, who gets chopped off. Is he going to try down the inside of this right-hander? He's not going to be able to.
Yeah, you have to be
but
brave.
It looks like Jamil. You do have to be very brave. Just ask Nico Rosberg, as he was vaulted over the top of Narain Kartikeyan all them years ago. But it looks like Jamil starting to close back up to the Renault of Matthias Gamer.
As the field make their way on to lap 3. It looks like this race is going the way of AlphaTauri at the moment. We said DRS trains could form this. Well, I think it's much more likely with teammates leading out front. But I'm sure Pollution Ball wouldn't want to give this win away to Wakanda Raring. So hopefully we do get a good battle here. I'll be interested to see what happens. That's a spin up. That is Ryan Ball spinning in the first sector.
Oh,
and their dream return has gone horribly, horribly wrong. They don't appear to have damage though, which is very good to see. But that would have done a lot of work into their tyres, and just gotta hope for a safety car now, as the rest of the pack is pretty much in one group. So they're battling up.
Yeah,
at the front.
expect a pit stop soon from Moran, I'd certainly say. But Pollution Ball looking quite close to Wakanda Raring. This is where we're truly going to find out how well these two get on.
Well, by the looks of the speed that Pollution Ball is catching at, we very much are going to find out here. and straight through, Pollution Ball into the lead. We didn't get to find out really, well, unless that was a deliberate...
Oh, there's Jamil making a move on Sam D, side by side through the chicane. He makes that move, and Sam D has lost the position as well to Luke and Nick. So teamwork at its finest there as Jamil moves up into P5.
So Red Bull, the entire Red Bull team is now on a French sandwich here. Just put themselves on a baguette as they head through into the final sector. These guys pushing as hard as they can. Jamil in a very tricky situation with that penalty already. He's going to be tough to really sort of work. Is that car coming into the pits? As drivers are pitting already. Pollution Ball, leader into the pits. Our tyre's that bad.
Nice and early. I said expect early stops, but it's a little bit earlier than I expected.
Well, the undercut is incredibly powerful here, so...
I expect Nick into the pits. He's got some damage on his front wing. Not sure if he's come together with anyone.
Ryan Bolt, the driver you'd think would be looking to make an early pit stop, has stayed out, but at the same time, yeah, maybe going a bit longer to cover off from any safety cars. If there is a safety car now, that could put Ryan Bolt straight back into the mix by going a bit longer. Yeah, but we'll have to
of course.
wait and see.
Same for Nick Pancras as well, new front wing.
That's the lead.
Virus. We know the undercut here is strong, so we would expect Pollution Ball to get these two, but Memes Virus back into where he was this time 3 laps ago. He makes that move now. These two battled away yesterday as teammates in F2. Is Wakanda going to come back at Memes Virus? It doesn't look as if he is. He seems to be a little bit stronger. Is Jamil got a problem?
I believe Jamil has lost a few places here coming through the chicane. I don't know whether he went straight on or something, and now he is battling with Luke into the next chicane. I'm guessing he's had some sort of issue through the chicane. I can't see any damage at the moment to his front wing, and he does not have damage.
No damage to Jamil.
So I'm guessing maybe he's just locked up or got a bit sideways or something, because he's lost a lot of time.
I didn't see it, if I'm honest, but
I didn't. I just saw the yellow flags and saw Jamil dropping down the order. So
Jamil's race unraveling, really. You'd think he'd get a pit stop now and just get out of the way, surely.
As none of the leads are pitting here, Sam D comes into the pits. This is our first chance to see Sam D. Where will they come out compared to Matthias Gamer? That I feel like that's the good comparison. Those two.
And Pollution Ball. He was a bit behind Pollution Ball, but nevertheless.
Yeah, we'll get. So they were what? Who was ahead in the Renault teammates before?
Sam D was.
So if Matthias gets ahead now, which looking like could definitely be the case, we'll have to wait and see now.
Dodgy pit lane exit.
And I believe Matthias Gamer is ahead by quite a bit. Look at that.
Quite a margin.
You really have to be above the. Like, if the car in the pit lane is beneath you as you go through turn 1, then you're going to come out about side by side. If the car is not beneath you yet, when you go through turn 1, then you've got the position. It's not easy to see from the offboard camera. We have to put a minute out for that. But when you're actually driving the car, when you're in the car, you can see the gamer tag sort of go across the bottom of the screen. So it sort of gives you an idea of where everyone is. But Memes
looks like Jamil battling now with Monster. It means Vara's holding on quite well. Wakanda probably quite happy to sit behind. Luke and Nick is up in 3rd, ahead of Spanias. VRT Luke, he's gone a little bit under the radar. He's all the way up in 5th. He's the first of medium tyre runners for Monster. Then Jamil, whose race has really been unravelling since lap 1. And he needs to get his racing cap back on and really start to push forward.
The Red Bulls were next to each other at one point in this race. They've now got, 3 cars between them, so Jamil not having the greatest time of it, but, you know, he can come back and he pits. That's what he's going to do, he's going to pit. And he, again, this lap, the only driver to pit, surely, right now, Matthias Gamer has got a chance of coming out, like, up in P2. Because they're 3 seconds off Pollution Ball, who is, of course, going to take the lead. But, sort of, with how powerful the undercut is, that 3-second gap could well be enough to get out. As this pit lane glitch annoys me so much, it makes you think there's been a problem in the pit lane. The car then just lags its way halfway down the pits. But yeah, it's interesting as we see Jamil come out the pits behind both Renaults. So,
well, just to update you, the average pit stop loss here in Abu Dhabi, 20 seconds. Pollution Ball, 16.8 seconds off the lead. Matthias Gamer, 19.5. So, right now, could be 3rd and 4th for Memes Virus and Wakanda Rang. Memes Virus has picked up a penalty, I do have to say. penalty for Memes Virus, as Marine does have some small damage on his front wing. Is that's Xavi moving past Kimi? These two guys battling for the lower end of the point. Xavi made a move down the inside of the first chicane. I think Kimi's gonna throw one back down the inside of the second chicane here. And he does. They make a little bit of contact going side by side. Can they keep it clean? These two teammates in Williams in F2. He shoves his teammate off track. They're still going side by side into this final sector now. No way they're going to hold this side by side with this triple right-hander. They're going to try it. It's brave. It's very brave. But Marcos, Xavi Mateo stays ahead in the Alfa Romeo. What a battle between them two.
I believe got at least a warning, maybe even a penalty. They have got a penalty. I'm not sure if that penalty came because of that corner cut, but
there we go.
Cut that corner
the leaders are pitting.
Ooh, here's the moment of truth. So I think Memes Virus is coming out down the order. And I'm surprised. Okay, so I'm assuming they're going on to the softs of the final stint, because you wouldn't lose that much time to arrival if you weren't going to try the softer compound later in the race. Surely not. Because the amount of time they've lost to Ball, who's already through turn 1, and oh my, Memes Virus here. So it may even, yeah, he's going to come out between the Renaults, and it's going to be very close between Wakanda Raring and Sam D. As they come through
Sam D is ahead.
And just ahead. Yes, wow, Sam D here, amazing strategy.
Great
kind
job
of annoying
from the Renaults.
They've all came out with a bit of a gap between them, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, Wakanda Raring straight onto the pace zone, already catching up to the back of Sam D. Fresh tyres looking to be the better of the two. As Kimi here is going to go back at Marcos and go into turn. Well, I don't know why I said 9. Turn. I don't know what the number of this one is. that was the wrong thing to do. But Kimi getting repassed on the exit. These two having a great old scrap here.
Carbon copy of last lap, or Marcos gets it done a little bit earlier.
And into the next chicane, and yeah, Marcos ahead.
A little bit more stress-free. Meanwhile, Matthias Gamer moving past Moran, who's still yet to pit in that Mercedes, so he's holding on for something. But I have to say, the gap between Matthias Gamer and Memes Virus is quite big, considering they both have one stop left to make. That's Sam D. Wakanda Raring has got past Sam D. I'm not sure if you picked up on that, Jackson.
I just got the end of it. But it was a pretty good move from Wakanda Raring to go around the outside there. But it worked well. And anyone that says you can't battle around Abu Dhabi is being proven wrong here today. If only F1 could battle as well around here as esports can, that would be the dream.
Of course, it's quite hard to keep up with strategy at the moment. Let's not forget, VRT Luke is in a really good position at the moment. He's got one more stop to make. He doesn't have to make an extra. He hasn't stopped yet. He's currently 10 seconds clear of his nearest of the provisional race leader Implosion Ball. This could turn out to be a really, really good strategy for Luke, who at the minute I think is quite content to just sit behind Spanias and get dragged along by the DRS.
Yeah, they're softs at the moment, clearly the quicker tyre. Although I imagine within maybe a lap or two's time, that'll switch around. And we'll see the mediums
I disagree. I actually disagree, because I mentioned in qualifying the way that these tyres wear out. Surely, as Wakanda Raring gets past Marine, surely at this point the mediums are better because of the way the softs just overheat and fall apart almost. So I still think Luke is in a really strong position of just managing his tyres.
I do agree that Luke has got the tyre advantage at the moment, but the speed that Spanish is going on those soft tyres is just crazy. If the wear is as bad as you say, then that is insane pace to have on the soft tyres. Because Luke is pushing, you can see by the amount of ERS that Luke has, it's actually less than Spanish. So I always look at the ERS percentage to get an idea of how much driver's pushing. If they're quite low, that means they're usually pushing obviously quite a bit, because they're having to do all they can to keep up with the car in front. But if you've got quite high, you're content, you're happy. You're just sort of hitting the air and doing your thing.
Yeah, obviously we can use the TAS system provided to us by IGK. Spanias is a couple of tenths slower per lap than Luke, but lapping about a second quicker than the cars behind him, who have now come into the pits that are monster. And is that Luke and Nick? It is Luke and Nick who pits from third.
Ahead. Jamil there is really doing the recovery job. I mean, I won't actually show you Jamil's on board because I've got the rev glitch. But Jamil at the moment doing a great job of recovering this race. And with more and more drivers getting penalties, Jamil's becoming less and less alone. Jamil now's all over the back of Sam D. And look at the pace difference, just those slightly fresher tyres. Look what they can do.
1 lap fresher. Is that really that much of a difference, or is Jamil just a little bit quicker than Sam D. Certainly breezes past with the DRS. He's going to make that move into turn number 9.
Well, of course, Sam D's going to fight
without
it back
issue.
though.
Yeah, does he have enough ERS to play with down the next straight?
Yes, they do actually have more than Jamil, so we'll see if that makes a difference. And look at the speed they're coming back at. Do they go around the outside of the chicane? That's always a bit alternative. Go the long way around. But they get it done. Get it down under braking there. Lovely move there from Sam D to hold on to that 9th position.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Or maybe not. There's two ways to look at it of Abu Dhabi. Make a move, get past again just the very next straight. So sometimes we do see drivers tactically holding back. No, Ryan's out.
As Ryan Ball out of the race, Nick Pancras is way behind. Hopefully they can maybe stay on the safe car to get us a good look.
How good is this for Spanius and Luke?
Oh my, yes, that is very true.
Surely they choose. Well, Luke's going to go onto the medium tyre. Are we going to see a hard tyre gamble to the end? We're not. Medium tyres for Spanias. But you've got to think, if he's taking the softs that long, he does get out ahead of Luke. If he's taking the softs that long, surely he must have an inkling that maybe he can take these tyres to the end.
Those that pitted already in the race, I believe, are pitting again. Which is something interesting.
Ball's
pitting. Explosion Ball had that massive lead. Means Virus back up to the top, kind of raring back up into P2. Sam D into 3rd place. So this is very interesting to see. But Spanish in P5 now with fresher tyres. And we saw that Jamil had 1 lap fresher tyres and had that much pace. I mean, 3 lap fresher tyres, well, what can you do with that? Plusion Ball has gone to the hards. Plusion Ball is going to try and go to the end of this race. What are the hards like around here? That's the big question now.
I can't comment, I haven't run them. Some tracks they work a treat, some tracks not so much, we'll have to see. You'd think, given the abrasive nature of this circuit, especially on the rear tyres, that they'd be a little bit more favourable at a track like this and maybe another track like, you know, Monza, where you just drop off with them.
Yeah, a couple drivers going on for the soft tyres as well. So we've got Matthias Gamer on the hards, along with Plusion Ball. We have Marcos and Nick Pancras, both going for the softs. They're both Alfa Romeos. Deciding that the Alfa Romeo colour scheme looks better with the soft tyres, which I must agree with. So we'll have to see what they do. Well, I mean, I think that's not a bad strategy call, to be honest with you. They haven't got much to lose. They have not got much to lose. So going that way, it makes sense to me. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 or 4 strategies going on at the moment throughout the field. It's quite hard for us to pick it apart. Just to try and bring you up to speed. The top 8, theoretically, or as Monster moves past Plusion Ball, or got a bit of commotion going on, but theoretically the top 8 should have to pit again, unless we see an absolute Checo Perez tyre-saving almighty drive. I don't think that's quite possible, because 18 laps is a long way to go.
Yeah.
But Spanias took the softs 10 laps, so we'll have to see. But Plusion Ball definitely going to the end, Matthias Gamer definitely going to the end. And then obviously we've got Nick Pancras and Xavi Mateos doing the opposite to everyone else, stopping again, but going for the soft compound first.
Yeah, it's been a crazy race so far. Who knows who's going to take this win? So many different strategies at play. Of course, majority going with mediums. There's so much action so far in this race. To quote a great man, this race has just been it's just a different gravy.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
I've been holding on to that all race.
I've kept it in, but different gravy going on here in Abu Dhabi. All the drivers keeping it nice and clean, I can tell you. Memes Virus currently with the fastest lap of Grand Prix, 36.9.
5 drives with a penalty. But I imagine we'll see a
just
few
to update
more
you
the
on the penalty situations. Sorry to cut you off there, Jackson, but thankfully Tass given me everything we would ever need in the commentary booth. So 3-second penalty for Memes Virus with 3 warnings. So he's sat on 3 seconds. Wakanda owing no penalty, 1 warning. The same for Sam D. 4 warnings for Jamil with 1 penalty, so 3 seconds for him. 1 warning for Spanias, 1 warning for Luke, 1 warning for Luke and Nick. 5 warnings for Monster, so he's on the verge of a second penalty. 2 warnings for Plusionball, no penalty. 6 warnings for Xavi Mateos, so 2 penalties there. No warnings for Kimmy, 1 warning for Matthias Gamer, and 4 warnings for Nick Pancras. So, crucially, Plusionball and Matthias Gamer, both drivers going to the end, have no penalties. So that will be good. So that means if they can keep that to the end, that will mean if they can win it on track, they will win. They will win. As Kimmy's collided with Marcos under the safety car. We see that happen a lot.
F2 teammate. Yeah, it's very interesting to see here. As safety car is in this lap.
Let's see who decides to go aggressive on the restart.
I imagine it's going to be those soft tyres runners, the 2 alphas that are going to be the ones that are putting in the most overtakes.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the hard tyre runners as well, see how much they drop back, if at all. Means Virus, we know from yesterday, he does favour a slower safety car restart. You can see him really backing up the pack. That's a photo and a half. And here we go. He's
back up
gone.
to racing.
Green, 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 green.
Means Virus leads at the start of lap 12. We're kind of raring, trying to chase them down there. These two on Ferry 1 mediums. As already at the back of the pack, it's Matthias Gamer. Must have had some sort of issue into turn 1 on their hard compound tyres. Now last place in 13th. We'll have to wait and see now whether they can get back up the order. Or is being last place a good idea for those hard tyres? Just to keep it nice and
I think he just sat back and you know, he knows he's going long. Plusionball probably won't be fighting anything too hard. Monsters right at the back of Luke and Nick. Has Jamil moved past Spanias? I'm not sure. He hasn't. No, Spanias obviously hit just before, or just as that safety car came up, but Moonsvar still leads into turn number 9 ahead of Wakanda Raring. These guys have much older tyres, so expect Spanias and Luke to start turning up the times and making some moves ever so shortly.
Yeah, Luke and Nick here battling with Monster. See what these two can do, both the same tyres, so a fair battle in terms of strategy. And Luke and Nick does get ahead of Monster at this stage of the race. These two pushing as hard as they can to try and get up the order. Top 8 now, all on the medium tyres. Kimmy is the only driver that's on the mediums and not in the front group, which is interesting to see. We'll see about what the soft tyre runners can do as well now, as they make their way up the order. But the top 2 starting to pull a gap now to Sam D in 3rd position. Sam D with a bit more worn medium tyres, and what we've seen so far today, as you pointed out on multiple occasions, is that these tyres do wear a lot around here. Because mediums are still much slower at wearing, but of course that's still going to affect you. So
of course, we obviously saw Sam D go for that huge undercut, which launched him up the order. He has P3 to show for that at the moment, but look at how close Spanias and Luke are. Is Luke going to make a move on his rival down the inside? It's not it's not an orthodox place to overtake into that first chicane. Luke going to try now into the hairpin, one of the most clumsy corners on the calendar. Positions stay as they are. I don't think Luke was actually looking for a move. I think he was just looking to unsettle his rival here as we go down the back straight. DRS not yet enabled, as we are only on the 2nd lap of green flag racing. I believe we will have it back next lap, but it seems if we're all status quo into turn number 9.
Yeah, these guys just sort of taking their time, preparing themselves. Of course, once DRS is enabled, I'm sure this will just become...
to Jamil.
Oh, this could be a good battle here. Spanish is going to go to the outside. Can they make it work? It's very hard to make the outside there work because the driver on the inside will just say no. You can go see the runoff area. You're not having this corner.
You've really got to force it. You've really got to force it around the outside, and Spanias didn't have that belief in himself. He could take it around the outside, but he does have softer tyre. We've got same compound tyre, fresher tyre, 4 lap fresher than Jamil, 5 lap fresher than Sam D, who seems to be holding up this train a little bit. And you kind of get the feeling once DRS is enabled next lap is that Nick Pancras off it is. On them soft tyres, he's made a mistake in that final sector.
To be fair though, of all the tyres that you could bin it on, the softs really are the best. You wouldn't want to do that on the hards because that would be really your race over. So, but speed Nick's going at, it doesn't look like he's in a rush to get back into the race, sadly. Yeah, Nick. If they have any damage, we have a look if Nick has damage,
yes.
And they do pit, and they've pulled out of the pit lane. No, and what the hell have they done there then? I mean...
Back to the racing.
Yep, okay. Up at the front of the order, it means Varus got a bit of a gap now too, Wakanda raring. And get that back to Sam D now, as Jamil pushing as well, and that is Spanius going for the move again, not quite close enough. Just everyone, oh yes, oh, I thought it was, oh.
Yeah, the look.
Sorry for the commentary there, but just being me saying ooh, but it looked like Jamil actually broke a bit too late, nearly hit into the back of Sam D, which is why they defended so well from Spanius' late braking. As they head now into the next
it's all quite crazy. Jamil this time is the attacker around the outside, and that is how you force a move around the outside. Jamil up into third. Yesterday's VRLF2 race winner, showing us how it's done. Jamil into third, Sam down to fourth, and he's under so much pressure from Spanish. Spanish going to try it around the outside.
Oh my
God! Side by side into this right-hander. Luke, absolute front row seat. Spanish gets shoved off the track. Is Luke going to make a move around the outside of the Haas now? I believe he will. They're still battling. Make a little. Luke moves up into P5. What a move from the Mercedes driver there. Sam D's really struggling now.
That's Monster and Luke battling further behind them now. We're looking at getting caught up, just stuck behind that group of cars. Spanish has gone from the attacking driver to the dropping down the order driver. That's gone all sorts of wrong there for Spanish. They tried a bold move, and I guess that's what happens when the bold move does not pay off.
Jamil wide at turn 1, he's picked up another warning, he's just one warning off a second penalty now.
That is not good. That's not what you want. But behind all that, Sam D defending here into the hairpin, as you said, the clumsiest corner. Sam D having to defend through there. These two are going to be battling as the speed of that Mercedes powering past down the straight. They're all doing all they can here at the moment just to try and get into this battle. Spanish is going to try and get involved in it too here. Will they go for a dive bomb? Who knows what they will do. They're going to sit back for now.
I think he teased it.
Nick looking at that, just gets tapping the back there of Spanius. So these guys are very close.
Spanius close enough. Does he have the ARS? He does. He's going to power past. Looks like Sam D's going to lose 2 positions in 1 lap. He goes around the outside. Spanias up into 5th position. So these guys, the freshest tyres in the field, can they push on and start to challenge the top 3?
This is the big question. How are these guys going to do? As that's looking at
Nick now trying around the outside.
Oh my, is that going to work? Yes, it is. It is.
And
Monster's going to follow him through.
Monster.
Oh my, what is going on here in Abu Dhabi? The track famous for having a sector 3 you can't overtake in is somehow becoming the centre of all the action in this race. Oh, this has been absolutely outstanding.
Sam D absolutely falling apart
and
as he does dive into the pits now,
And that is also Wakanda raring also into the pits. These medium tyres have the structural integrity of cheese at the moment. These things just aren't staying together. They're just falling apart. What is going on here? And
are they
going to
last the final 12 laps?
Oh my! That's Wakanda raring going on to the mediums. Sam D going on to the hards. I mean, I think honestly, I don't know if the mediums, the hards are on here could be playing them Pollution Ball, could win this race. I genuinely think they've got a good chance here because these medium
really
tyres
could with how bunched up the pack is.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
The track temperature 28 degrees, air temperature 23 degrees. It's not necessarily melting the tyres on the surface. Monster close to Luke and Nick now, but the medium tyres just don't seem to be, well, they seem to be turning on and then turning off almost immediately, like a light switch.
Yeah, that was after 8 laps that Sam D's tyres died. Like, Jamil's on 9 laps, but Jamil had a puncture, what is it, in Mexico? Could we see Jamil get another puncture today?
Spanias making a move now on Luke round the outside. Don't think Luke made that too difficult. Monster made a move, a carbon copy of that move actually, around the outside of Luke and Nick. So Monster getting a move on. But Spanias and Luke both within the DRS range of Jamil now. So we could see Jamil start to drop back now, as Jamil is ever so slightly closing in on that gap to Mimsvarish, just a 10th quicker on the last lap.
All of these drivers just so close at this stage of the race. Very slight gaps appearing here and there, but the racing is just outstanding. As
Jamil has got another penalty.
Oh, that's Jamil struggling. Now, another safety car in this race would really ruin Jamil's day. But Jamil's surely stretching out these tyres to go on to another set of, well, maybe another set of mediums? Maybe try and really stretch them out, go to another set of softs, because there's no way those mediums are making the finish. If somebody pit after 8 laps onto hards, then surely Jamil can't do any more than really 12 laps at the absolute limit, surely.
Of course, and this makes me believe more and more that Spanias, Nick, Monster, Luke and Nick will all have to pit again. There's no way they can take them ties to the end, and as you said, there's Spanias going for a move. This should be quite an easy move on Jamil. Jamil not defending it doesn't make it too hard for the Haas driver. Let's keep an eye now on Luke, who's locked up. He's gone straight on through the chicane. A 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I'm sure we can get that removed, because he did lose time there.
Yes, very interesting to see, as battling her back Monster close to the back of Luke and Nick, but not quite close enough on this occasion to get the move done.
And look who else is close, Blusenball, right there, just sat there in the DRS.
Just waiting. As those hard tyres, they don't seem that slow. They seem to be pretty happy at the moment. Maybe the hard tyres are the only tyres that are actually sort of turning on and staying on at the moment.
Well, he's only 6.5 seconds off the lead. He's 6.5 seconds off the lead, and I'll tell you, he's matching Memes Virus's lap times as Memes Virus gets another penalty, so as he pits, he does pit.
So these tyres are not doing great. It's Jamil. I have to worry for Jamil about these long tyre stints, because going well, at the end of the stint be 12 laps on these tyres, surely they're going to struggle. As for kind of raring there, fast lap of the race, here's an interesting thing to look at. How far back is Memes Virus? Well, kind of raring now has the net lead, if everyone does pit. Okay, so if now kind of raring, if we say is now the net race leader, assuming everyone in front pits, of course we do have the drivers on the hards. How far back?
4 or 5 seconds behind.
That to me sounds like a short enough distance for we're kind of raring to get onto Pollution Ball here, because yeah.
Well, Wakanda to Pollution Ball is
about 5 seconds.
Wakanda to Memes Virus is 5 seconds. Pollution Ball to Wakanda is actually more than that. It's 8 seconds or so. So certainly achievable if the integrity of their medium tyres hold up throughout the stint length, which, going off previous race data, it really hasn't so far today.
Yeah, Sam D here clearly has gone the wrong way on strategy onto the hards, because not only are these tyres slow, they also don't seem to be the needed, because it seems like the mediums could go to the end of the race now. Because even though these hards are looking pretty good, decent on Pollution Ball's car at the moment, they're still not quicker than the mediums that are 8 laps old. So you'd have to assume that if you can use the mediums, you want to be on the mediums. So it'll be very interesting to see. As these drivers head on to lap 19 now. We've got 10 laps left in this race.
Spanias is lapping really well at the moment. Do you think he could take these tyres to the end?
That would involve being on these tyres for about 18 laps. And to me, considering Jamil's on. Okay, do you have with TAS? Do you have like the tyre wear percentage?
Yep.
What are Jamil's on right now?
Jamil's high, so he's running 40, 45, 41 and 43% on his tyres as he does get passed by Luke into the second of the 3 chicanes there.
I think Spanish could go to the end of the race without another pit stop, without a puncture. However,
yeah,
I'm not
Spanish
sure if
running
it'll be pacey.
30% on his tyres. Yeah, Luke is actually managing his tyres a little. Yeah, Luke managing his tyres a little bit better, 31% just on his tyres. No AWS graphics here at VRL with RGK. It's all real life, timed, live data.
Yeah, it truly is the good stuff. Also,
thankfully provided to us this season by RGK. The admins did reach a private conclusion with Tebow, the creator of TAS, to buy the system for next season. So RGK TAS is not going anywhere, with the greatest insight in league racing. As into there goes Jamil into the pits. Yeah.
Jamil just trying to keep out of the barriers there. We are now at 20 viewers and 300 comments. I made that 303. Big moment here. Lots of comments. It seems a lot of people are enjoying TAS in the comment section at the moment. Yeah,
it's all well and good when Jackson's stream doesn't crash.
Yes, yes. Or when my PS4 doesn't randomly die. Which, no, it's still 8 laps left, so who knows. But fingers crossed.
Well, I hope not, because I think this is going to be an absolute crescendo finish, because Matthias Gamer has just got past Xavi Mateos. Let's not forget, Matthias Gamer is in an effect too.
That is
Let's
true.
bear that one in mind.
Yeah.
And for people like Wakanda Oring, who's now making a move on Kimi, will make a move on Marco shortly, Memes Virus as well, Jamil and Sam D, they're all going to have to get past Matthias Gamer before they can even think about a move on Plusion Ball. So, Plusion Ball might have the buffer that he needs in Matthias Gamer to get his car across the finish line in the lead.
That's very true. Yeah, it's gonna be on the line. I think we're not gonna have a move done with 5 laps left. It's gonna come down to the finish. It's impossible to predict. It just really is impossible. So many drivers just so close to each other.
Spanias is driving really well at the moment.
These Spanish really just on another level at this stage of the race. Tyres that are about the same as the drivers around them, but still just getting in those lap times. What Spanish is there
as well. I will update you on that.
Oh, that's Monster.
He's running at about 40%.
But
Monster, is he off?
I think that was a spin coming out of the penultimate corner, and it's badly damaged their wing. They may well have been pitting anyway, but that's an extra, 5 seconds onto their pit stop.
Yeah, 5 seconds they didn't need. Luke and Nick gets out just ahead of the racing point.
Okay, give me a sec. I need to look at chat quickly. I've been summoned.
How do I see my boys Tyler? You can't, unfortunately. That's exclusively to us, but we are doing our best to update you. As you said, Jackson, Spanias running at 40% on his tyre. Luke running a little bit lower, 38%. So just in terms of the fuel load as well, which we can see, Spanias has got a lot more fuel to play with than Luke, more than half a lap of excess fuel. So he can really run rich down the straights when he needs to. Wakanda Raring, as I said, I was talking about that buffer. That buffer's gone because Memes Virus and Wakanda Raring have both moved past Matthias Gamer.
Those hards really not working on that Renault car at the moment. They're not firing up in the same way that Plusion Balls have. I think a big difference was that Plusion Ball was in a group of medium tyre runners, so could just sort of hold on to them and keep up with them in the DRS. Whereas Matthias Gamer was sort of out on their own, with less of a slipstream, and those that they did have a slipstream off maybe slightly less pacey. So I'll have to wait and see now. I think the gap I'm keeping on now is Plusion Ball to Spanias, because in the event Spanias doesn't pit, how's Plusion Ball going to do? How much of a cliff are the medium tyres going to hit?
So, Luke pits. Is that going to force Spanias' hand into pitting? Because not only does he not have the buffer of the Mercedes, but surely he's going to get jumped by everyone if he doesn't pit soon.
That is very true.
It's now or never for Spanias. Although there was a 3-second gap on fresh softs, Luke will be able to make that up in 2 laps. So it really is now or never. And Luke's going to be so quick in the final stages of this race. He comes out just behind Luke and Nick, and they're all closing up onto Matthias Gamer. Jamil, Luke and Nick both quicker on the last lap. Or not Luke and Nick, I should, but Jamil certainly quicker than both Wakanda and Memes Virus, who is also closing up to Plusion Bob, who's matching Spanias. So it seems if in the last couple of laps in this race everyone's going to merge together in one part of the track. But I'm so interested to see what Spanias is doing, because 6 more laps, 45% wear on them tyres. I think he can make this. I think he can make this to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a finish. Those medium tyres, if they make it to the end, they're going to be, well, in pieces, I feel. They're still going to have air in them, but just about barely. There's not going to be much time left in them, because all the rubber will be gone, essentially. Because just the amount of laps, they'll be about 70-80%. Now, although that may just about survive with a puncture, not quite getting one yet, that could well, the amount of pace you're losing on that percentage of wear, it's through the roof, truly.
Yeah, I'm sure Spanias can make this to the end, and just back off a little bit. That last lap, half a second slower than Plusion Ball, but if he loses half a second lap, he's home and dry. He's got so much time, he's got 8 seconds in that gap. Plusion Ball needs more than a second a lap on the leader, and that's just not going to happen.
The only person that I could see actually doing that amount of time gain is Memes Virus, because those much fresher medium tyres...
He needs even more than that. He needs nearly 2 seconds a lap. he would need an absolute calamity for Spanias.
The only driver that could do 2 seconds a lap is the group of soft tyre runners, and they need even more time. So it's sort of the guys that could do the gap aren't in the position that they have that gap. So it really isn't what you want. So yeah, I mean, if you put Jamil in Plujimol's place now, I think Jamil would have the win.
Of course.
But it's just, that's the thing, is about this everyone, you think Abu Dhabi simple strategy, 2 stops, soft, medium, medium, maybe you'll go soft, soft, medium, or maybe mix them up in the order. Who would have thought this would have been the finale? We've got softs, we've got hards, we've got mediums, we've got such a varying levels of wear. It is just absolutely crazy for a season finale.
Nothing we can call yet.
Yeah. That is crazy, because Spanish tyres, they could die. They could go, they may well drop to what could be 2 seconds a lap slower than Plujimol. So it is entirely possible. I think this race, for me, the race comes down to Plujimol, Spanius, and Memes Virus. If Memes Virus can find the pace, then they've got a chance to win. If Plujimol can just keep going, not wear the tyres out too much, use what they have, not overdoing it, not putting the tyres into extreme temperatures, not over pushing, not spinning up the rears, not wearing their tyres out too much, because they may be hard tyres, they are still going to be feeling the heat at the end of this race. It's all down to Spanish for me. How good is their tyre management? That is the answer to, that is the question that will decide this race. Because
my eyes are absolutely fixated on the tyre wear graphic. 52% now for Spanias, so he's really getting close to that danger zone with 5 laps to go. I had a question in the chat: can VRT win this or get a podium? Gonna be tricky, gonna be very tricky. He's come out in a lot of fast traffic. He's got to make some moves. Jamil is tucked up behind Matthias Gamer. Expect him to move there very shortly. Memes Virus is tantalisingly close to the DRS of Plujimol.
This is gonna be
Let's
interesting.
not forget though. Let's just little sit rate. Memes Virus 7 warnings, 2 penalties. Plujimol 4 warnings, 1 penalty. Spanias 1 penalty, 3 warnings. Wakanda Raring no penalties, 3 warnings, or 2 warnings I should say. So Wakanda Raring is actually out of the penalty range of Virus, but Spanias, or well no, he's still within because Virus has got 6, but Plujimol can afford to drop behind Virus and just stick within them 3 seconds and still get the jump on him. One thing I do have to remind you is that if Plujimol scores more than 2 points today, he bags 2nd in the driver's standings ahead of Domi, who isn't racing today.
Well,
so
it would take a monumental problem for Plujimol to not score 2 points today, so be interesting.
It was quite crazy things.
Look how close Memes Virus is now. I mean, if these two collide, then yeah, there's a good chance Plujimol won't score 2 points. But I'd appreciate it if the drivers don't lose too much lap time, because it's 20 minutes till the F1 Grand Prix starts, so keep the pace up, lads.
Do not worry about timings. We're just 4 laps away from the conclusion of BRL Season 6, and I have to say that gap between Plujimol and Spanias is coming down 1 second quicker on the last lap, Plujimol than Spanias. This race is going down to the absolute wire, and Memes Virus is even quicker.
It's so close between these groups of cars. Memes Virus has nearly run to the pack of Plujimol out on the exit of that last corner, but they come down into the first chicane. Can Plujimol fend them off? No. Will they send it? No. Will they be able to fight back down the back straight as Jamil gets past Matthias Gamer as they enter the first chicane?
Good move there from Jamil. Expect Matthias Gamer to get absolutely swallowed up. The Renault strategy today has not worked at all. Wakanda Raring in a league of his own, a bit no man's land. Now Memes Virus 6 seconds ahead, or 6 seconds behind I should say, than Spanias. Last time round he was 2 seconds a lap quicker than the Haas driver. That's exactly what he needs. He needs that every lap to get with him on the last lap. Jackson, this is going down to the absolute wire.
What is going to be the gap at the end of this lap? Because at the end of this lap there is 3 laps remaining. That is the thing. So as around the final corner, on board with Spanish, it's like he's driving on Inters. He's sliding the car so much. Spanish, the gap is 5.4. That means that they're going to need, what, 1.8 a lap, something like that?
Just under 2 seconds, but don't forget the penalties for Virus. Don't forget the penalties for Virus. He's got 3 seconds more. He can't afford to get another one. That would be race over. It's not ideal at the moment. at all. VRT Luke gets past Matthias Gamer. Luke and Nick should follow suit shortly. We're going to keep an eye on this battle at the front though. I believe Sam D has pirouetted at the final corner. He has. That's going to drop him outside of the points, back to the front. 5 seconds now is the gap between Virus and Spanius. That gap is tick-tocking down.
And whilst we have that battle at the front, we've also got a battle here in the lower points positions here. Luke and Nick battling with Matthias Gamer. Matthias Gamer is just dropping down the order at this stage. The hard tyre gamble has not worked out for the Renault drivers. That looks like Sam D may have just had another off moment. As they head wheel to wheel into the chicane. Well, could we see a Hulkenberg Grosjean here? But yeah, Luke and Nick does pull it around the outside to take.
Could get re-overtaken here. Could get re-overtaken.
Let's see as they head into the chicane. Matthias Gamer, they've all or nothing now for Matthias Gamer. They need to be ahead. So they try and go around the outside. This could end badly. And it doesn't.
Get
have I spoken too
track.
soon? And Matthias Gamer loses out that position there. I don't want to put a commentator's curse on it, but at the moment it's looking good for Spanius. Because look, the time is not dropping enough. And with that means Irish penalty, I mean, if Spanius gets another penalty, it all blows wide open again and Plugenball could win the race. It is
4 seconds across
so
the line with 2 laps to go. 62% tyre wear for the Haas. It's going to be so close. He's so close at 70%, then tyres can puncture at any point. With the way that's wearing, he'll be around that point on the final lap. Means Virus has got to pray that something happens to Spanius. Spanius has got to pray that he can just keep it on the island for the next 2 laps.
Oh man, I'm going to stay on board with Spanius. Unless there's battles elsewhere on track, I'm going to stay with Spanius on board here until the end of the race. Just so that we can see Spanius' view of this race. Because, well, it's our best chance at understanding the tyres. They're just, they're so slow. That's nothing against Spanius, that's just the tyres. The tyres just aren't there for them. They're essentially going to a crawl as they head through the chicanes. And the time
65% wear on his front right, but means Virus, I don't think is going to be enough. He needs 2 or 3 more laps.
What's Plugenball's penalties looking like?
3 seconds for Plugenball, just 3 seconds.
At the moment, if Spanius, let's say, does have a puncture, that could throw Plugenball into the race win here if Plugenball can stay within 3 seconds of means Virus. Oh my, anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. Oh, this is just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff.
Talk about a crescendo finish to VRL Season 5. Here we go, Spanias has drove an awesome race. You've got to say he certainly deserves it today. 2.5 seconds is the gap between Spanias and Memes Virus. This is coming down to the absolute wire. Spanias holding on to their very last threads of rubber of his tyres as he tries to keep that car pointing in the right direction. Down the hill, he's only got a number of corners left to navigate before he can call himself a VRL race winner, but here we go. Runner up in the VRL F2 standings. Mean Virus is pushing him all the way to the finish line.
Oh, I'm just looking back from Spanius' car now, and you can just see that little red dot getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is exactly what Spanius is seeing too, because
look at them rear tyres. They do not look healthy at all.
They do not. It's like they're two-tone at this stage. Look at the different shades of grey you have on the back of them. It is, look at the way you can see the graining is terrible on them. And Spanish is using absolutely everything they have. It's going to be close, but I think, barring any major issue for Spanish, it's looking pretty good at this stage. Oh,
let's not forget last lap though means Virus is 1.3 seconds quicker in the final sector. There's still so much to play for as this gap is consistently coming down. Luke is so close to the back of Jamil. We'll have to catch up on that a little bit later. The Haas team haven't seen a win in VRL since Philip Smith all the way back in Season 3, and it looks as if Spanias can navigate these final couple of corners, he can call himself a winner. Memes Virus threw absolutely everything he had at him, but Spanias has coped brilliantly. He's going to win the finale of VRL Season 5. Spanias wins ahead of Memes Virus, who put up a valiant effort. Plugenball is going to cross the line, P3, but Wakanda Raring steered clear of penalties. He takes P2. ahead of Means Virus, who just holds on to the podium, ahead of Plurian Ball, who does pick up second in the driver's standings. Jamil from pole, only third place. Matthias Gamer did hold on to sixth ahead of Luke. Luke and Nick was 8th for Red Bull, Monster 9th, and it looks like ASDF Kimi will score points in F1 as we wait for Marcos to navigate the final corner with a few celebratory donuts.
Yeah. Marcos had some good donuts here at the final corner of the lap, celebrating a P11 and a good season for everyone. As Kimi actually got P9 in the end, just hasn't scored for a few seasons, but gets P9.
Welcome back to the points, Kimi.
Yeah. Backwards across the line, Marcos finishes Season 5 of VRL F1. What just outstanding from everyone.
I need to lie down.
Yeah, so do I. We've hit the 400 comments.
Thank you to all. We have reached 300 subscribers today, so thank you all very much. Spanias, wow, well done to him. Well done to the Haas team. What a race! What a race! They threw absolutely everything at Spanias. I said as soon as he pit, can he take it to the end? And he certainly did just that. What a drive from the Haas driver. Whew.
Yeah.
But 2 F2 guys on the podium as well.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign of things to come.
Yes,
congratulations to them.
Next season will be so exciting. It is truly going to be a remarkable season.
Here are the provisional results then. Spanias wins Haas's first victory, the first top step of the podium for a couple of seasons. What a race to finish. Season 5. What a season.
Yeah, just
in a season of which BDG Gill came and dominated, set records left, right and centre. 5 consecutive race wins for the Frenchman, crowning him the 5th different champion of VRL in as many seasons. Ferrari won the Constructors' Championship. But as I said, the gloves were going to come off today, and the gloves certainly did come off. What a race. What a way to finish VRL Season 5. And I have to say, keep your eyes very peeled, because we've got so much coming, so much lined up in the next couple of weeks as we launch Season 6. Jackson, thank you very much. Wow, thank you for joining us, I have to say.
It's been a pleasure. It was outstanding. Fun fact I noticed from that race, the top 5 drivers on the grid all finished in the top 5 in a different order, but all the top 5 on the grid were the top 5 that finished in the race, which is just interesting. With a race with that much chaos, that is a surprise to see that is the case. You'd think there'd be more of a mix-up.
As much as Jamil might be disappointed with only 5th from pole, it has been his best result.
Yeah, that is very true.
As a 5th result, a 5th place. Wakanda as well up in 2nd. What a drive from him, I have to say. Kept it clean. And we're not going to go ahead with any podium interviews today, because we do all have to rush off. But nevertheless, incredible race, and I think that really caps off an incredible season. Jackson, if we don't hear from you again, I want to say it's been a huge pleasure to have you on the channel for the couple of races you've done this season.
I just thank you for giving me the opportunity. It has been absolutely outstanding to be here. And to see some absolutely amazing drivers and races, and it's just absolutely amazing what a season it has been, and I'm sure that will continue next season.
I'd like to just take the opportunity to thank absolutely everyone, drivers, admins, viewers, commentators. That's not me blowing my own trumpet, but absolutely everyone. Incredible season, a record-breaking season for VRL, and let me tell you, Season 6 is going to be bigger and better than ever. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled over on our Instagram, over on our Twitter, at Vision Racing League, or at VRLPS4 over on Twitter for all the news on Season 6 and maybe 1 or 2 other things we've got planned in the meantime in the little winter break. But certainly a big thank you from me, big thank you from all the admins over at VRL. It's been absolutely incredible, and we'll see you when VRL returns. Thank you very much.